students, welcome to the another video of Edwins. Today we will discuss about the plant movement from the first chapter of class 10th life science. So what is the plant movement? We know plants are not movable organism or cannot move or change its place. So how they can move? They can move only in certain stimulus. Based on the stimulus and their movement, the plant movement are categorized or divided into three types. Number one is tactic movement, number two is tropic movement, and number three is nastic movement. Tactic movement, one and only, where the whole organism of course this organism plant body move or change its place. Okay, so this is the one type of movement and only movement where the plant change its place. In which organism this is happen? This is happen in lower class of plants like Chlamydomonas and Volvox. Example, Chlamydomonas, Volvox. These tactic movement are divided into mainly two types. Number one is phototactic. Number two is chemotactic. What is phototactic? From the name, that is photo, which mean the light. So the stimulus is the light, and for the light this organism or the plant moves towards or away from the light. So phototactic movement also divided into two types, that is positive phototactic, positive and negative. Positive phototactic is like in case of Chlamydomonas, they move, or Volvox, they move towards the sunlight. Okay, and move away from the dark places. From dark or shade places. Okay, this is the positive phototropic movement and this is the negative phototropic movement. Sorry, positive phototactic movement and this is negative phototactic movement. Next one is the chemotactic movement. Chemo mean any chemicals. So in chemotactic movement, there is any chemical is the stimulus which enhance or promote the organism to move. A common example is the male gamete or this is named as antherozoid. Antherozoid, যদি একটুখানি হাঁক দিয়ে বলো তো, চুপ করতে প্রচন্ড লাগছে কানে। This antherozoid or male gamete moves. Phi, that is male gamete of moss, which is named as antherozoid. Okay, and which moves towards the female gamete, which is known as antherodium. Okay, these male gametes moves towards the female gamete in the response or stimulus of certain chemical which is known as boron, which is released from the female gametes or female ovules. Okay, so this is the example of chemotactic movement. This is the example of chemotactic movement. Okay, so these male and female gametes of mosses produce the offspring which is known as archegonium. This is for your knowledge but not important for your exam. Okay, they produce the offspring which is known as archegonium. So this is all about the tactic movement in plants. The important part of this tactic movement is type of tactic movement, number one. Number two, the examples of the tactic movement, that is in case of phototactic, that is chlamydomonas and volvox, and in case of chemotactic, this is male gamete of mosses, that is antherozoid, and moves towards the female gamete which is known as antherodium. Okay, so next one is the tropic movement. This is also known as directional movement. This tropic movement also known as directional movement. How? Let's talk about. This tropic movement basically categorized into three types. Number one is phototropic. Number two is hydrotropic. And number three is geotropic. These are the three kinds of tropic movement normally occurs in plants. In phototropic, of course, the stimulus is the light. In hydrotropic, the stimulus is the water. And in geotropic, of course, the stimulus is the gravity. Okay, so these are the common three types of tropic movement occurs in plants. These tropic movements are also, all these tropic movements, that is phototropic, hydrotropic and geotropic, are also commonly divided into two types, that is positively phototropic or positive tropic movement and negative tropic movement. One is positive, one is negative. And in first, I have also mentioned that tropic movement is the directional movement. That is, it depends on the position or direction of the stimulus. That is, depend on the on the direction of the stimulus. Okay, the tropic movement. So in phototropic there is also positive and negative, positively phototropic and negatively phototropic. The external stimulus is the light. What is the example of positive and negative phototropic? The positive phototropic is the shoot of the plant. Shoot of plants. We know if an indoor potted plant placed inside or near the window, if this is a potted plant, after few days this plant will get bent towards the window. Why? Because of the external stimulus, that is sunlight. Okay, so plant parts that moves towards the light, which is known as positively phototropic. In plants the shoot part is the positively phototropic, and the roots which is negatively phototropic, because roots goes down under the soil, so this is known as negatively phototropic. Okay, next one is the hydrotropic movement. In hydrotropic movement or hydrotropism, also positively hydrotropic and negatively hydrotropic. We know that roots of the plant collect or absorb the water from the soil and reaches or provide the supply to the plant, to the leaves for the process of photosynthesis. So the roots are the example of positively phototropic, and the shoots part of the plant is negatively phototropic. Okay, next one is the geotropic movement or geotropism, which is also positive movement and negative movement. So geotropism, we know towards the gravity, the plant, which part of the plant moves towards the gravity, that is roots. So root is the positively geotropic and shoot part of the plant is negatively geotropic or shows the negative geotropism. So this is about the tropic movement in plant. Another tropic movement which is not included in your syllabus but for your knowledge, that is thigmotropism. Thigmotropism mainly responds to any mechanical stimulus. Okay, how or what is the mechanical stimulus? That is, in indoor plants we commonly known or present in every houses, that is money plant, which moves towards the strong support. Okay, another one is the cucumber. One is money plant, another one is cucumber. We know cucumber hold the sticks with some special part of it which is known as tendrils, the spring like part. Okay, so this is the example of thigmotropism. This is just for your knowledge. Okay, So this is all about the tropic movement in plants. Now talk about the nastic movement. The tropic movement was the directional movement. Nastic movement, which is depend on the intensity of the stimulus. Intensity of the stimulus. Okay, so this nastic movement are further categorized into 4 types. What are they? First one is the photonastic. Second one is the thermonastic. Third one is the chemonastic. And fourth one is the seismonastic. Okay, these are the 4 types of nastic movement observed in plants. So the photonastic, of course, the stimulus is the light. Okay, in response of light, the movement of the plant parts is known as photonastic movement. The example is sunflower, which only bloom or open its petals in the time of sunrise and get close the petals in the time of sunset. The opposite incident occurs in jasmine. In jasmine, when the sunset, it opens its petals, or the blooming time is the sunset and close its petals in the time of sunrise. So this is the photonastic movement. Next one is the thermonasty. Thermonasty is the external stimulus is the temperature. Temperature. So some flowers like tulip only bloom in the high temperature. Bloom in high temperature. Okay, so this is the thermonasty. In the response of temperature, the movement of the plant part, that is known as thermonasty. Next one is the chemonastic. Chemonasty, of course, in response to some chemicals, that is chemicals. Which chemicals? The example, Drosera or Venus flytrap. What they do? They, like if Drosera is like this, okay, and they have so many tentacles. These plants, that is this Drosera or the Venus flytrap, are known as insectivorous plant. What? Insectivorous plant. So if a SAQ or NCQ made on this, that give 2 example or 1 example of insectivorous plant, that is Drosera or Venus flytrap. What they do? This is the Drosera and they have so many tentacles, and these tentacles secrete some sticky substances. When a fly or any insect come closer to it and get seated on it, these tentacles are move and capture this insect. So these tentacles move in certain stimulus, which is certain or specific protein. Specific protein. So in response of some specific protein, the movement of these tentacles is known as chemonastic movement. In Venus flytrap also, this is look like this, and they have a flap like structure, and this flap like structure, inside this there have so many tentacles like this, and they are also secrete some sticky substances, and this is very colorful. By these the insects are attract, and when the insects get attract and sit on it, this flap get closed, and inside the Venus flytrap there have so many enzymes which digest the insect. Okay, so these are the examples of chemonastic movement. Next one is the seismonasty. Seismonasty movement is also response to a certain stimulus, that is mechanical stimulus. What is this? In seismonasty, movement, this is occurs due to the mechanical stimulus. Okay, so these mechanical stimulus like touch. When we touch the plant, which is commonly known as Mimosa pudica, or do not touch plant. Okay, so when in normal condition, these are the leaves are like this. Okay, when it get touched, the leaves become closed like this. Okay, so this is the example of seismonastic movement. So these are all about the movement in plants. If I get a comparison between all these plant movement, between the tactic movement, nastic movement and tropic movement, it will be that is, one is tactic, tropic and nastic. Okay, these are the three types of movement. First, the tropic movement is not considered as a directional movement. Number one, not truly directional movement, because if we get an example of the movement of the Chlamydomonas, it move towards the light where the light intensity is high. One, depend on the intensity as well as the direction where the light is present. So this is not truly directional movement in case of plant, but in tropic movement, this is the directional movement. In case of nastic, this is not the directional movement. Okay, number one. Number two, depend on the intensity of the stimulus. This is partially depend. Okay. Number two, they are not depend on the intensity of stimulus. But nastic movement, of course, depend on the intensity of stimulus. Okay. Number two. Number three, no hormone is responsible for this movement. Here the hormone, which is known as auxin, is responsible for the movement. Here also no hormone. Okay, this is the main three kinds of. And number four, which is very important, that is tactic movement, is temporary changes occurs in this movement. Temporary change and can get reverse. It means the changes get reversed into its previous state. But in tropic movement, the change is permanent. If the branch of a plant is bent, this is permanently bent. It not get changed. But in nastic movement, this is also temporary. Example like mimosa pudica leaf get back into its previous state. Okay, so these are the comparative analysis of the three movement in case of plants: the tactic movement, tropic movement, and the nastic movement. So that's all for the today's video. If you have any doubts, you may ask in our comment section. We will definitely discuss it in our next video. And if you like to get more such informative video, you may subscribe our YouTube channel Edwins, and also please do follow, comment and share our Facebook page Edwins. Thank you.
Edwins, learn, grow, succeed.